guys, Handiwork here, and what we've got here is the printout of Rance's latest piece, the Fangs 373, I believe. Usual stuff, all the parts you need and where you can order it from, and full colour instructions. I have a colour printer now, which I'm pretty thrilled about. All the bits and pieces, and what's even is he's sent me an early copy, and here's the first plate, just finished printing about half an hour ago. So I'm going to pull that apart and jointy. So let's get this stuff off here and get the next plate going. So this is the this plate takes the longest amount of time to print, about 20 hours. Now, Rance, when he produces these things, he produces online files you can view, like the instructions, and also he actually gives you a printing guide. The printing guide for this one isn't viewable for some reason, so I'm not sure if I'm printing this right. That came out okay. I'm using yellow pet egg as my separation material because it just comes off so easily. So you can see all that's just support material. Yep. So there we go. Just got to bend a bit of this. There we go. And last one. There we go. Right. The whole reason for using PET G instead of the bamboo support is simply cost effective. It's $40 for a bamboo support for half a kilo, and PET G is like 19 at my local J car for a whole kilo. So I know what I'm spending my money on. So these ones that are a little bit stuck, I just get a pair of pliers, pull them off, and the PET G just comes off pretty easy. If you need to, you just get a craft knife and just stick it underneath, scratch it off. There we go. See, it doesn't stick at all. And that goes up the back there somewhere, so I can pop perhaps like that. If they think actually like that, come to think of it. Yeah. And that's our little, what do they call it? Magazine well. Oh, I see, it goes in there, straight underneath. Right, so everything's fitting together pretty cool straight away. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. And get plate number 2 printing. Hi guys, back with the Fangs 737, and I've had a problem. This piece snapped. There's a weak piece there, and that weak piece wasn't because of something Rance modelled, and it wasn't because I set up my printer incorrectly. It was because of a tree. Where I live, we've got a lot of trees, and they fall over a lot, and they cause blackouts. And I had a blackout in the middle of the print, and there was a line there, and this piece, you might be able to see the same line there. That's because they were both on the plate at the same time. Now that one's pretty solid, survived. This one is like an empty shell and handling a bit too rough. I just snapped it, but fortunately it snapped where this void is. So I just took the piece into SketchUp, took that shape, printed this little block, and goes in there. Going to cover that with glue, whack it on there, and Bob's your mother's cousin. So, easy repair. And once it's glued and everything and locked in place, I'll fill it and we'll be back on the road. So, that's easy. Okie dokie guys, getting to the painting of the fangs. Now, what I've done is I've undercoated an area white, which I'm going to actually paint red, and I've put some tape down in a checkerboard pattern. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to spray the red, I'm actually going to spray a light green, because apparently red pops a bit better with a green undercoat. So I'm going to do the green along there, along here, and on this back bit which sits up here. Painting time. Mask up. Okay, that's painting's done. Now, the reason there's no paint on the top is there's a very tight fitting Picatinny rail that goes along the top. So I don't want to put any paint on there at all. For the simple reason it'll make the Picatinny rail difficult to get on and off. Okie dokie, we have power back after a small outage. Not a bad thing. We mixed up the red paint. Got an airbrush, so let's put the red on this. Mask on, inside. That's a lot better. Normally if I paint this on a grey, it would come out a real pale, almost pinkish red. Now these two bits are assembled, and I'm going to paint it while it's assembled, because then it's just easier to hold it by this back end. And then when it's dry, I'll pull these 4 screws apart and mask this and paint these little jiggly poky bits and the other separate bit. Okay. There. And just this fine little tail end bit. Good. And I'm almost out of paint. Okie dokie. It hasn't been long, only a few minutes. The paint's still soft, but let's pull off the check, see how lucky we got. Oh, that looks nice. Oh yes, yes. Oh, I'm really happy about that. Now there'll be a number here, and then there'll be all the soot and muck around here, so there's no point in having anything else. Yep, so I'm pretty happy with that. Those recesses, I've checked, there are different sizes on each side, so go figure. But anyway, that's good. So that'll go on there like that. Somehow like that. So we have our checks. I'm quite happy with them. Different number on each side, because that recess is different on each side, but that's all right. So yeah, so maybe some sort of number up here, maybe a little something there, like a personal totem or a name or something. And then I've got to disassemble it and paint the black bits, well, the metallic bits metallic. So, on with the show. Just getting on to the painting of the Fangs 737K, which I'll henceforth just call the Fangs. And what I've just been spending the last, apart from the masking, which there's not that much to do, about the last 10 minutes I've been mixing up some of this gunmetal again, using the same colours that I did before, the original Humbrol gunmetal, which is way too silvery for me. This, I think it's sky blue or sea blue or something. I'll put the actual paints just here in a second when I edit this, and some matte black. And Although it may not look like it, it actually gets darker as you go down. And about here is where I started adding the blue. And I've got it to here, and that's the colour I like. I can see some blue in there. Not much, but some. I felt it was the colour I mixed for the X-shot, long shot, was a bit lighter, and it blended with the grey background a bit too much. It still looks alright once it's been weathered, but I'm going to try this darker colour on this one. And one thing you should remember about masks like this is you've got to keep them airtight sealed, or they're just sitting there and they're still activating with the air going through them. So an old ice cream container or a plastic post bag or something like that, I actually keep it inside a styrofoam box inside the plastic bag. That keeps your filters a bit more active. Okay, here we go. Since I've left the camera filming, I might as well explain what's been happening. Just finished painting all the gunmetal. That bit there gets covered by an external part, which I painted black for the pistol grip. What I noticed was my idea of the Picatinny rail covering the top of that wasn't complete, so I had to mask those checks and just paint the top red again to make it look a bit better. Basically, that's the painting done. The base coats is just your usual thing, the weathering and the smoke and the soot. I'm hoping to print another one of these so I can have a pair of them strapped under my armpits when I go to box of clips. I think that'll be kind of cool. Right, that looks pretty good. What's it look like? Not too bad. Okay guys, I've got the paint done, so I'm going to reassemble this thing. I've taken the core out because I've got to put the motors and the pusher, everything. I haven't even assembled that yet. I'm just printing the wheels now, so I'm just going to put the body back together because I want to see how it looks. I want to marvel at my own geniusness. That's it. Well, there we go. Now, can I zoom out a bit? Yes, I can. There we go. So that's it, finished, and I just happen to have a magazine which is actually red. Look at that. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to have to do now is, well, not have to, but what I'm going to do now, go and design some a few more graphics. I've been inside doing some stenciling. I've just got a bit of stencil stuff. I don't know if you can see it. I've got a lightning bolt, the word lightning, and a number there. I'm going to put on these, but we'll put these transfers on. Oh, there we go. So I'll just mask around them, mix up some white and spray the base on. So it's not too heavy. Right, hi guys, back again. Now, of course, I've gone too far. I've put the worn metal on with a silver marker. Sorry about that, didn't film it. But anyway, actually, there is a bit I can film, come to think of it. I'm not quite happy with this area because it's a bit too broken up. It should be, the worn area should be completely solid because it's worn and have really hard edges, not soft edges, because this is where my cheek would be. And these things do pick up, you know, body oils and dirt and muck, and they do wear and they do shine. So anyway, so got my little stencils on, numbers, lightning, checks, everything. So now it's time for the black wash, and what I'm going to do this time is, it's not going to be 50-50 this time. I'm going to do it a little less, probably 70-30. Just a little less dirt, just to see what happens. But this is already very dark. The metallic's dark, and the red's a darker colour. And I don't want the white to be completely buried under black. So I'm going to try, yeah, just a less dense amount of pigment, if that makes any sense. Well, it's certainly dirtied it up a bit. I'd have to see what it looked like once it's gone over the, you know, a colour or a white or something. But it's pretty good. Could stand to be a little bit darker. Final stage, the smoke and the soot. Always happy to get here. So I've already got my Tamina Japanese Self-Defense Force brown already mixed up, ready for airbrushing. So it's XF72. Now, obviously the places the smoke goes around the muzzle, around the vents, this area, these, and around the magazine well, and on the other side there's the addition of the ejection port and the cocking handle slide. So there's a lot of smoke and soot coming out the front. This is going to be a fun part. I haven't done those holes up there. Is the brown, when it goes over a dark surface, sort of acts as a backdrop for the black to go on. There's a glow of brown, like you can see there, or even on here, that shows that there's soot there. Because when if I spray black on this, you can't really see it. Even though they're two different blacks. That's a flat black out of a can. This is NATO black. They'll probably dry slightly different, but it's hardly noticeable. So it's just a way of making things stand out a bit more. Just a way of making the soot and muck stand out a bit more. So that is it. The Fangs 737K complete with a folding stock I don't know if you've seen my other post, but if you order the Wolver hardware kit, you get the actual STLs for free. $100 value, you get them free, which is a pretty good deal, I reckon.